Welcome back to the unofficial Squarespace Entrepreneur Podcast. My name is Omari Harabin, and if this is your first time listening, this show is all about building a business on Squarespace, particularly businesses that serve the users of Squarespace. So if that sounds like you, then you're in the right place. Today, I just felt compelled to hit record. I'm in between strategy calls today, and I thought it's a good time to just capture what's top of mind for me right now, which could be useful to you as well. Um, One of my current mental models, I have several that are quite active, but one of my current mental models is this idea that I'm not trying to grow my list, but I'm trying to know my list. My goal is to get to know my listeners, my subscribers, my customers, my clients, in a way that I previously shied away from or was hesitant to or afraid of, because it meant or it would mean revealing sides and truths of myself that I wasn't comfortable with. But now my perspective has shifted because all of the opportunity in my business is in relationships. It's in uncovering these hidden relationships and possibilities, these needs that maybe I'm able to fulfill that I hadn't, made myself available for. The strategy calls I'm doing today is a great example because I haven't offered this in a really long time, but it's very useful if you are a Squarespace designer, or you're growing your Squarespace business and you're at one of these pivotal junctures where you need an outside perspective, someone who's not only familiar with the business that you're in and but the market, and also the struggles that we have to face and deal with as entrepreneurs or solopreneurs. So where I'm at is, looking at content, quote unquote, not as content that I have to produce, but more as conversations that I have to open myself up to and, you know, be available for. So this podcast, for example, the newsletter, any channel where you can potentially hear from me, what you're tuning into is an ongoing conversation that you can, keep up with, that you can be a part of, that you can join in on at any point in time. And this conversation always rotates around, um, around growth and transition and the struggles that inevitably come with growth and transition. And that's kind of the space that I really, that I'm most at home. Actually, is in that liminal space, that area of uncertainty, that in between the place between the known and the unknown. I've spent a lot of time there, and so I'm very excited to be able to serve as both an initiator into, different realms of business mindset thinking, so on, and also as a guide, if you will. uh, a few days ago I was thinking about a private mentorship offer that I'm going to share soon. I guess this is me sharing it right now. But I was reminded by an offer that I made years ago as a doula for visionaries. That was the frame that I created. And as I went back to that frame, I was like, oh yeah, it hasn't really changed. That is really where I do my best work, is uh, allowing people to um, feel and be themselves through the gestation period of an idea, of an offering, of a product that you want to deliver to the market. Through that gestation period, from the time where you conceive an idea, and you start to get excited about its potentials and its possibilities, there's a lot of things that could get in the way of that idea actually coming into fruition. And so one of my gifts is being able to serve as a touch point through that period of growth and transformation to the point of delivery. And I say delivery where others would say launch, right? Because we don't launch babies, we don't launch life. We deliver it, and that's how I feel about offers and offerings as well. Is that um, before we reach that point of delivery, we often go through our hardest struggles. The most painful part, is right before we reach that breakthrough. And where I come in is, allowing you to see and allowing you to visualize the fact that on the other side of that breakthrough, um, there's a new beginning. There's something that is young, and it's going to require your nurturing. It's going to require your attention and your care, um, until it gets to a place where it can support itself and can sustain itself without your direct input. And so, as I unravel that analogy, it brings me back to my day to day as a father, where I've learned through fatherhood and being a parent, you get a lot of uh, residual business benefit, right? Because I'll give you an example, right? My 3-year old, his question is perpetually, Daddy, what is this? Daddy, what are we doing? Daddy, what are we eating? Daddy, what? And so I'm constantly being brought back to the present, to be mindful of, okay, yeah, what am I doing? And then am I able to articulate what I'm doing so a 3-year old can understand? Can I be clear about what I'm doing so a 3-year old can understand? Um, my 6-year old, she doesn't use regular words at this point in time. So she communicates a little differently. And it forces me to, again, slow down, to tune in to her needs and what she's saying, but can't actually say, right? What is she expressing through her body language? And through the sounds that she does make, there's often clear indicators about what she's looking for. And then my 9-year old, he's at a point where his question is why. He needs to know the reason behind things. He's now constructing the foundation of his reality, which is, what do I believe about the world? What do I need to believe about myself in order to function and operate within it? So I share that because those questions that my children ask me all day, um, that plays into my thought process with my business. It's like, okay, well, how do I better articulate what's going on? Right? How do I best articulate why something is happening, or why am I doing what I'm doing? And how do I key in and tune in to the uh, the needs that may not be expressed, straight up, in a way that is obvious to the outsider. But as an insider, you can slow down, you can take your time, and you can get familiar with what's going on, right, within your business, within with your clients, with your customers. And uh, struggle or a big obstacle for me in that area was just this perpetual fear of judgment. I've discovered in my own self inquiry that the hardest thing that I've had to overcome in life, all right, long before I decided to become an entrepreneur, this thing plagued me, but it plagued me even more as an entrepreneur. And as an entrepreneur, I had to confront it over and over again. And it's something very simple. And it's simply being able to ask for what you need. as a child, as a young person, I never opened my mouth to ask a question. I wasn't someone who asked questions in class. I didn't ask anything at home. If I needed something, I didn't ask. I learned early on to that it was better, that I would be better off, that it would be safer for me to uh, not make my needs known, because if those needs weren't able to be fulfilled, then uh, people wouldn't feel good, right? And I didn't want that to be the case. So, as an entrepreneur, you have to ask questions, and you have to ask for what you need, and you have to ask for the sale, and you have to make a lot of asks in order to survive and thrive. And uh, each time I was confronted with this very simple thing, right, that for many people it's not even a thought. It was very, very, very difficult, very difficult. But I've kind of gotten through that, and on the other side of that, oh man, I'm asking questions all day. All I got is questions. All I want to do is know. Just like my 3-year old. All he wants to do is know. He just got questions. There's no guilt or shame, or embarrassment about not knowing or needing to know. And so that's where I'm at right now. I am open to receiving. I'm open to getting to really know, what I've been doing. Because believe it or not, I've kind of put these blinders on myself, where it's kind of like, let me just go, let me just do, and trust that it will work out. But now that I've kind of taken the blinders off, it's kind of like, oh wow, it kind of did work out. Trusting myself in certain ways at certain points in time, had a ripple effect and a benefit to others. I just got off a call, and a strategy call, and one of the first questions I asked was, uh, what made you decide to reach out to book this call? And turns out this person, one of their first touch points or entry points into creating templates or selling templates, um, was squarespacethemes.com years ago. And I think I've reached a point where I take it for granted. But um, there's a lot of people who got an initial spark, or, oh, this is a thing, or, oh, this is something that I can do, and then actually went and did it, and have done amazing things, and changed other people's lives, and so on and so forth. So now that I'm a little bit more mindful about where I'm at, what's been going on, and where I want to go, man, it's amazing. It's great. I'm happy to share it with you. So anyway, thank you for listening. Um, I'll definitely be back sooner than later. I'm just gonna get ready for my next call. And yeah, if you have any questions, I saw some, or I heard someone do this on another podcast, and I thought, oh, I should do that. But I'm drawing a blank on exactly what it is that they did. Oh, so if you send me a voice memo, um, I guess you can email it to me. Then I'll respond on the show. Okay, yeah, that sounded kind of awkward. Anyway, send in your questions, however you have them, whether it's a voice memo or an email or text. Send in your questions, and um, what I'll do is I will invite a guest on based on the question that you ask. Right. So I'm not, I don't know everything, but I do know a lot of people who've got some really cool expertise within this niche. And so if you ask a question that I'm not able to answer, I will definitely invite someone on who can. So go ahead and hit me up with your, Squarespace business questions, and I will address them on a future episode. All right. How does that sound? Good, right? All right, cool. Talk to you soon. Bye.